talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene because it could be a coincidence. It really could. However, I started sending her and Thomas Massey all of my stuff in September 3rd. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene is singing a brand new song. Like she knows the truth. I agree with Thomas Schoenberger. Everyone should investigate me. And all those around me. They should investigate Sherilyn Slechta. They should investigate the people in town. They should investigate everyone who's around me. Investigate everyone. But also investigate Sewer Town. Daniel Dowd, who's on top of me. Tara Joyce, who's on top of me. Jesse Davis, who's on top of me. Corey Daniel, who's on top of me. Alicia Ray, her husband, well, that's more true than I probably his wife. But investigate all of us. Because they're on top of me. I'm not doxing them and hanging up fucking flyers all over town, calling them a pedophile, hoping that someone shows up at their house and kills them. They're doing that to me. I'm not making pictures. Hey, Susan, I'm not making videos where I'm showing them being lynched. I'm not making videos where their house is burning down. I'm not breaking into their house. I'm not the one who's called Social Security and committed a myriad amount of attempts at identity theft on their disability. I haven't done any of that. But they've done it all to me. And Thomas is involved. Thomas just fucking emailed me again. I blocked him yesterday. He just bypasses the block. Because what every composer knows how to do that, right? It's just part of the job description. He's part of the government, but he's not going to say who, because loose lips sink ships. They're running a fucking pedophile ring. They're in a criminal organization. God knows, I know there's probably drugs involved as well. I mean, drugs and child trafficking kind of go hand in hand, don't they usually? You know? But I will say, fuck. I'm starving. However, I just went to the pantry and I'm going to go help them I'm going to go help get people to donate food. I did that for years. I volunteered at the pantry for years. And they don't have shit. They don't have shit. People are getting pantry orders and they have a little bit, but not much. Fascinating movement underway. I agree, Susan. All the stuff is coming out. All the stuff is coming out. I believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene now knows the truth, which is the reason why she didn't back down. The fact that Thomas Schoenberger is telling everybody that Kash Patel is going to save him and his fucking organization, I bet that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene went in there and told them all to go fuck themselves when they tried to get her to take her vote off. Because she knows. I've told you, the internet makes the world a much smaller place. And I'm very good with the internet. I'm very good at finding email addresses for people and then sending them stuff. I do it all the time. But I started sending my stuff to Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene September 3rd. And notice the change. It could just be a coincidence, but something tells me that Marjorie Taylor Greene has gained what she didn't have before. Fear of God. All of that hate and vitriol is going to cause problems. It is over for the clowns, Susan. That's the reason why they're fighting me so hard, and it's not even me they need to fight. There are people looking into them. They are looking into them. And Thomas is just as involved as Tara Joyce. Let me go through the whole list again for all of those people who aren't aware. Michael Aquino. He was the head of the snake. They say he committed suicide. I don't believe he's dead. Gabe Hoffman, Thomas Schoenberger, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. They are using that Satanic Temple after school daycare to target the kids. Then you have Sewertown, Corey Daniel, Alicia Ray, Jesse Davis, that DeFango, that Chavez, I always forget his name, Tara Joyce, Daniel Dowd, Gio Farnsworth, Craig Sawyer, Ron Patton, his whole group in Olympia, Washington. But after I reached out to Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey is when I started to see thousands of people on my blog a day. Yesterday I got 10,000 people. And Geo can say, oh, it's us, it's all bots. No, my security system actually breaks down what it is. There are some bots, yes, but they don't get counted, and a lot of them are blocked. So there's just too much stuff that has fallen into place all at once. I don't believe in coincidences. Susan, who's Gordon Getty? I don't know who Gordon Getty is. But all of their shit is going to go down. And they tell me to go get a job, but I'm afraid if I try to do that, well, first of all, they're going to follow me around and get me fired from any job I want. Any job that I go get, they're going to fire me. They're going to try and get me fired. Fuck, they tried to get my disability taken away. They tried to break into my disability. That's what they tried to do. They didn't call Social Security. They may have called Social Security and tried to get it taken away, but they also tried to take it over by trying to do identity theft. They fight me really hard. I went on and typed in Terry Joyce. And I went in and huge money Getty Fam Museum, in South Cal. Okay, that makes sense. But I went in and looked, and then that dangerous, deranged David Shurter. They're making fun of the fact that those people showed up, and I said they weren't safe. That dude had a weapon in his pocket. That's the reason why his hand never left his pocket. He stood all the way up so that he couldn't be seen on that camera. Getty runs Newsom. I don't trust Newsom. I don't know much about him because I'm not from California, but he seems as slick as Obama to me. That's what I get. I get the impression that he's slick. And I don't trust that, But I don't trust any of them. Republican, Democrat, they're all the shit that's coming out of the same bird's ass. Fuck they're two wings. They're not wings. They're the shit that comes out of the bird's ass. You divide it up and you can call one Republican and one Democrat. But they're both shit. Don't trust any of it. But we're in the days where you can't trust any of it. Lots of false prophets. And they don't have to be preaching the Bible. All they have to do is preach so that you don't follow the word. It'll lead, not following the word, whatever agenda you're following will lead you right into the dark. The path to heaven is narrow. Babe, I hope the stuff comes out. They're just jamming the shit out of me with their weapons. Just jamming the shit. Newsom is real dark. His wedding was held on a ranch in Montana. Hosted by Charles Schwab. Hunting party, ? If there's not, it's not like they wouldn't be connected. That ranch that Scalia ended up dead at. That's where they hunt kids. Bohemian Grove. They hunt kids there. They were hunting kids in Alan Bear's house when I was a kid. You know? But I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene, and this is what I will say about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I, for a long time, have despised that woman. She has irritated the absolute ever-living piss out of me so many times. But I also believe that people can change. I do believe that grace can and send someone to a different path. And the woman is a strong woman. You can say whatever you want, but she did not get where she is by her looks. And I'm not being insultive. I'm not where I am with my looks. Of course, I'm not really anywhere. I'm certainly not a congressperson. But when you're not pretty, you can't get by on your looks. And so therefore, she's strong and she stands by her convictions, whether or not she thinks people think she's an idiot or not. It's just I think she just needed to be nudged in the right direction. They do keep going. The reason why, Susan, they keep going to the same spots is because it builds the energy. And that's what they're trying to do. It builds the energy. That's the reason with all those fires in Northern California, the one place that didn't burn up is the Bohemian Grove. They can't have that place burn up. They want to be able to keep that energy. And fire will destroy it. It'll release it is what it does. It turns it to ash. That's the reason why they'll fight. With all those fires and everything that they saved the Bohemian Grove. You know? That says a lot. But I think that since Marjorie Taylor Greene knows, I have a feeling there's a lot of people now who knows. You know? I bet there's a lot of people now who are all looking into this. I bet there is. Obviously there is. My blog is seeing numbers it's never seen before. And that's all I'm saying. Is that my blog is seeing numbers that I haven't seen before. That's the reason why I ended up doing the table of contents. Or at least for a few years. I still have more to do, but I just, like I said, doing that table of contents was making me remember all the stuff that I have gone through with this fucking group. And by the time I got done, I was exhausted because I was irritated. You know what I'm saying? I was irritated. And so, but I think that they know the real story now. They know the worker bees. They can dance around. They can act like fucking baboons in heat all the fuck they want. But I bet people are looking at them now. I bet there's investigations going on. Are they investigating me? I'm sure they are. Do I have a problem with it? I'm not the one fighting to prevent from being investigated. I'm not the one. They all are. You know? It's funny that you say that because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know that the dude who said that was decapitated by his own subjects. You know? I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene is hurting the innocent. I think she actually cares. I never did. I thought she was a publicity hound for a long time. The Jewish space lasers. Well, there are space lasers. Dew is in space. Mark Esper, when he was Department of Defense, went and told everybody that they had lasers in space. Directed energy weapon lasers in space. They're not Jewish, you know, but there are space lasers. That's why I was mad, because I thought she was trying to distract. But I think she was being misled, and I think they don't like her. That's the reason why she got dumped with Lauren Boebert, who gets felt up in public in front of everybody in a theater, and George Santos. You know, I can handle annoying. I'm annoying. You know? To be honest, I can be incredibly annoying. I can handle annoying. I think she has a good heart. I never used to. I thought she was just in it for herself. But I find it interesting that her whole tune has changed. I mean, people are talking about it. And I just started sending her my shit in September 3rd. Because I figured if I could get one of them to read my stuff, it would be enough to actually, we all can, Susan, we can all be annoying, you know? To be quite honest, I would love to sit and talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene for a conversation or two. I would, you know? Never wanted to before, but that woman has impressed me in the last few months. She has impressed me. And it's not that I hate to say it. In fact, I love to say that. I am so happy I am sane because I think she actually cares. You know, I think she actually cares. I think that she was misled for a long time because she was surrounded by Lauren Boebert, who is just, as far as I'm concerned, Lauren Boebert is trash. And she did get where she is because of her looks. George Santos got where he was because of his fucking lies. And then President Trump fucking pardoned him. So most folks can't imagine how dark this gets. They can't. And they're on top of me. Oh my God, they're on top of me. They think that it's me who's doing it and they don't realize heaven's working against them. You know, heaven's working against them. That's who they're actually fighting. But I found it interesting. Yesterday, that live that I did yesterday, that I just talked about movies, has gotten more hits than any video I've done recently. So you guys actually like the relaxed version of me when I'm just being normal and talking normal shit. And I have to say that live yesterday talking about movies and stuff was fun. It was fun. It was a nice break. You know, it was a nice break. Today has been difficult. I went and, like I said, I went to the pantry and offered my help. I'm going to start pushing people to donate food because they need food. You know, and I'm not saying it for myself, even though when I got 2 bags. It wasn't very much at all. But nobody's getting very much. I've seen the pantry orders. There's not a lot to give. So many people are in need. And people are trying to help where they can. You know, people are trying to help where they can. But everyone's hurting right now, you know? But yesterday was fun. It went longer than I have in a long time. It was almost a 2-hour one, but it was fun talking about movies and laughing with people. I think I'm going to try and do that at least once a week. I think on the weekends, I'm going to do a fun one every weekend where we just talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. And people can just... It was fun. There was a lot of engagement. I got a lot of titles of movies that I'm going to want to go watch now. You know? Because we all have to stick together. You know? And that's why I do these lives. Because I know some of you guys come in and it just... For whatever reason, and it's not me, I think it's just the energy that we all have. People can listen to these and feel uplifted. And that means something to me. You know? You don't find yourself uplifted listening to Daniel Dowd or Tara Joyce or Geo Farnsworth or Thomas Schoenberger. None of them uplift anybody. They don't. They're all so focused on themselves. You know, team humanity. I like that. That's just it. We haven't lost our humanity. That's what a lot of people have. When the Bible talks about people's hearts have grown to stone, they've lost their excuse me. They've lost their humanity. And that's what it is. They've lost their humanity. And there's a bunch of us. I have followers who you guys have not lost your humanity. And I know that it's hard to figure out what to do. I'm on the front lines of this, and most of the time I'm fumbling around in the dark. You know, I don't know what to do either. I just do whatever I feel like I need to, you know? Oh, that's funny. Half a year ago, I worked as a bakery as a side job because I needed dough. I'm out of bread, but I have a couple packages of yeast and I have some flour, so I'm thinking of actually making some bread myself. It's funny that you say that. That's the reason why I cleaned off my kitchen table, because I want to start. It was a really good. It's a good pun. I appreciated it. Susan appreciated it. It was fun. Kneaded dough is N-E or Kneaded. Need, you know? It's pretty clever. For those of you who watch these and then you don't think that the comments are up, you just got to give it a minute. Because the conversation doesn't come up unless the video's processed. And sometimes it takes 24 hours to process the video. And so the conversation doesn't come up right away. Kneading dough does feel good. In fact, I'm actually making bread today. That's the one thing that I decided to do because I still have flour, you know? And I like to bake bread. I like to cook. I like to cook. I like to bake. You know, I like all that stuff. And when you're poor, you know, and it's funny because I had to call my internet provider because I'm behind on my bill and they turned me off yesterday. I had to call them because I thought something was wrong with it. And so I have an extension for a few days. I still don't know. I'm going to actually start selling purses and selling stuff. With that said, why don't I just go grab this purse? I can show you guys some of the stuff that I'm going to get rid of. I am not showing anybody anything new, I don't think. But I am getting ready. This one will be finished by this evening. Like that. It's kind of big, but it's going to have an inside. This one's done. I'm asking $300 for this one or best offer, because I'll take offers, you know. But it's this, and this is the inside of it, and then it has 4 pockets, 2 in the front, which are jeans, 2 in the front, things to actually connect your keys to, and 2 in the back. And so, and this is that. And then I made this one, but the person just kind of faded away and disappeared. And so I don't know what to do, and I don't want to keep it. I'm going to sell it. So this is another one that I made. I'll probably ask $150 for this one. It has a thing to connect your keys to. It has 2 pockets. And it will have the thing to put it on your shoulder. But I'm working on these today. And so this is the front. This is the back. This is that. And then this one. It has 1 pocket, but this is the inside of it. This is just a simple bag. I'm thinking maybe $125. And again, I'm putting the straps on all of these today. That's what I'm working on. Is putting on straps. So, David at davidshurter.com if you're interested, or if you want to buy one. PayPal or Venmo is just at dshurter. Kind of desperate right now, so I'm just starting to sell stuff. And I think my artwork, all handmade, They're one of a kind. You won't, when you take it out, no one's gonna have anything like it. But if you do send me, and then it's the first come first serve. So if someone sends me something and then someone else comes and wants the same one but it's already sold, I'll just end up refunding people's money and telling you, hey, that one's sold already. I don't know. I've never done anything like this before, really. I don't really sell things online. And so it's all new to me. But like I said, I'm tired of constantly asking for donations. I'm not a grifter, but I feel like a beggar. And I know that we're supposed to lower ourselves and have humility, but I think you guys all get tired of me asking for donations. I know I get tired of asking for donations. I'd rather offer something than just want something for nothing. And so, but anybody who wants to donate, I'm not going to dismiss that either. I'll put the Buy Me a Coffee link in there, and PayPal and Venmo is just D, capital D, capital S, lowercase HURTER, my name. And so if you want one of these, let me know. I will send them out ASAP. Christmas is coming if you want to give it for a Christmas gift. I'm still working on other artwork, but the stress level that they have on the fact that they're breaking into my house is bad enough. But now I'm having to worry that they're sexually abusing my dogs. Because they're accusing me of something so disgusting, and I'm not doing it, but who thinks like that? That thought had to come from somewhere, and so now I'm afraid they're coming in and sexually abusing my dogs, which one is gross, and two is infuriating. I'm just tired of this, but like I said, I'm not doxing them. I'm not hanging flyers in their town, calling them a fucking pedophile, and encouraging people to show up at their house and hurt them. They're doing that to me. I'm not making videos of their house burning down. They're doing that to me. I'm not making videos of lynching them. They're doing that to me. Thomas fucking just bypasses the block on my email and sent me an email today. Oh, Tara Joyce is after you. Like I give a fuck. Pieces of shit. That's how I feel. She lives in Fresno. She doesn't even get oxygen. Do you know in Fresno they have these things called oxygen bars? And it is exactly what you think it would be. Because the air that they breathe is so polluted that they have to go to oxygen bars to actually connect oxygen to their nose so that they can actually breathe pure oxygen. That's what they have in Fresno. They call Fresno the toilet bowl because it gets all the pollution from LA and then it gets all the pollution from San Francisco because of how it's located and geographically and what's around it. So, and she looks horrid. Oh my God. I thought I've aged in the last few years. They look horrid. She looks horrid. And Thomas, oh my God, Daniel keeps posting this picture of Thomas standing at a window in a fucking thong. It's the grossest picture you've ever seen. It's just disgusting. And he wants to say, oh, it's Tara Joyce and Daniel Dowd, but they're all working together. And then a very good supporter sent me an email asking me, could you just not talk about Sherilyn Schlechter and Smokey the Clown anymore? That's not going to happen. I don't mean to be rude, but Sherilyn is involved with that Famalam thing. My stepmother's involved with that Famalam thing. All of Sewertown is involved with that Famalam thing. That's where a lot of this shit is going on. I'm not going to drop it. That bitch tried to get me arrested and put in jail. She tried to set me up. And so, you know, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to just be quiet. And I know they think that I should just take their shit and be quiet about it. And that's not going to happen either. You know? It's not going to happen. And I've been working really hard to get all of this stuff out. This is a full-time job. Let me tell you, it is a full-time job. I am constantly at this. I wake up in the morning and work at it, and sometimes I have to work on it the whole day. I'm going to do what I can to expose this child trafficking bullshit. I am. And they only need their foot in the door, because once they get their foot in the door, the roaches are going to scatter, and they're going to see who the roaches are. And then they're going to investigate them. I had a little change jar. I counted it out. I had $3.50. So I went and spent $2 and got a liter of Coke. What is $3.50 going to do? You know? Not going to do much. And the problem with starvation is that it kills your fucking blood sugar. Your blood sugar bottoms out. And I know that Coca-Cola is not the best way to raise your blood sugar, but you got to do what you got to do. But I'm not going to do a really long one today, but I will say that the one yesterday got so much, the second one, not the first one. I'm trying to do God's work. I'm sometimes I feel like I'm letting God down because I just don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And it emotionally upsets me sometimes. There's sometimes I will lay in the bath and pray and then start bawling because sometimes I wonder why God chose me. Wasn't there someone better, more capable? But I guess you can't second guess God. You know, God chose me for a reason. Who am I to second guess God? I'll just do what I'm asked. But it's difficult. It's difficult. And there's so much writing on it. You know, kids are being hurt. And I already have a problem with survivor guilt. So when I start to, hey, Susan, thank you for coming in. It was wonderful. This weekend, come check it out. You know, I don't know what I'll be talking about, but this weekend I'll do one that's fun. Just fun. I just want to do one that's fun on the weekends. Because these aren't a lot of fun, you know? Even though I will say that Playlist came in and made me smile. So, with that said, you know, I think that I'm the least of their worries. I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is well aware of shit that I've been involved with, and now they're looking into it. And they're going to find out that I'm telling the truth. They're going to find out that I'm telling the truth. They're not going to fucking fall for this group's fucking bullshit. They're not going to do it. People don't fall for it. They think they can bully people into it. But I don't like to be bullied. It makes me want to fight back. I'm not doing it. And so I'll continue doing what I need to do. But that's today. I'm at 34 minutes. I don't like to make them much longer. Gov is the one who actually suggested that I keep it at 30 to 45 minutes. It's a tolerable time, even though 361 people have watched. And those aren't bots. Those are actually people. People actually liked the one that we were talking about with movies. So we're going to do that again. I am definitely going to do that again. It won't be about movies. We'll do about books or plays or whatever we want. Art, fun stuff. Stuff that actually takes the stress off of us. Even if it's just for a moment, you know? Where we can just appreciate each other's company and actually have some fun and maybe a laugh or two. I will say I laughed this time. This kneading dough, he worked for the bakery because he needed dough, was pretty clever. I mean, it was pretty clever. That's the kind of stuff I want to focus on, you know? But these child traffickers are going down. In one way or the other, they are going down. And there are Congress people who know about their shit. They can say that no one is listening to me. But again, it's not about the quantity. It's about the quality. And I've sought people out and asked them to look at my stuff. And so I think it'll go well. Eventually, gotta have faith. Faith is being sure of what you hope for and certain of what you do not see. Just like this says, that's what faith is. That's what we're called to do. Be sure of what you hope for. I want these child traffickers brought down, exposed, brought out into the light. And I'm pretty certain it's happening. I'm pretty sure it's happening. So, hallelujah. All glory goes to God. All glory goes to God. And these people do not worship God. Thomas Schoenberger worships himself. Gabe Hoffman worships himself. Tara Joyce worships herself. Daniel Dowd worships himself. Geo Farnsworth worships himself. There's no one better than they are. They're always the smartest. They're always the best. They're always the most superior in their minds. That's how it works with them. And so they don't inspire people to do anything other than listen to their fucking nasty bullshit. And they are fucking nasty people. Just saying. So, with that said, thanks, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Tuesday, Thursday, and on the weekends, usually Saturday, maybe Sunday. But I've been doing these because people, you know, I think people like the shorter ones. And I think a lot of people are just keeping up. And they fuck with my numbers on YouTube anyway, so I don't trust my numbers. You know? They're able to do that just like Thomas Schoenberger is able to bypass the block. You know, just bypasses the block. I blocked him again this afternoon. You know? It's nice about the mentions because they can't... I'll go in and see that I've been mentioned, so then I have to actually go into a completely different account to go look at their shit. And I rarely ever do it. I did today just because I was curious. Didn't care. You know? Their shit's getting investigated, and it's not me they have to worry about. But they're too dense to figure that out. And I'm an easy target in their minds, and they don't want to focus on everyone else. And so, with that said, like and subscribe if you could, please. Comment. It always helps. And if you want to donate or contribute, I'll leave the stuff in the description. It's not in there yet, but I'll do it later. To buy me a coffee, PayPal and Venmo are just at Shurter. And so anything is helpful. Anything is helpful, especially at this point. Because it's awful. I have no money for groceries, and I used to tell people all the time that everything was $5 here and $5 there. Fuck that. Now it's $8 here and $9 there. I went to go look at bacon, and it's $6 for a package of bacon. On Friday, if I can score any money, It's half price. It's $2.99 for bacon. Babe, I don't eat a lot of bacon because I don't really like it, but it's cheap. And red meat, fuck, I can't afford $6 and $7 for a pound of hamburger. I don't think there's a lot of people who can. You know, the economy sucks right now. Not just for me. I think there's a lot of you out there that can agree. It's becoming increasingly harder to maintain. But with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow.